All right, what's going on, everybody? Can you hear me? Is everything good? I want to double check. Obviously, I'm not here using my normal tech, my normal setup. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. It says that it's registering my sound down here. But I want to make sure because YouTube has us with the sound issues sometimes. Let me see here. Let me hit you guys in the chat. All right, what's going on, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Hit me up with the yes. Okay, awesome. Benjamin said, hear you clear. Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, good morning, everybody. Cool, cool, cool. Yes, I can hear you. All right, Vivian, Benjamin, Dylan, Coco, Michelle, Andrea, everybody, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy to be back, right? Tristan, good morning. Hope everybody had a great weekend, and is ready for another amazing week. I am very, very inspired, excited, encouraged. We've got the challenge going on this week. You guys know what that means. We're ready for breakthroughs. We're ready for great strides. Very, very excited for that. And obviously, that's going to be where the focus is this week is, being there to level up for the challenge. We'll see if the market can give us any solid looks here as we progress into the week. But again, we've got a shortened week, right? A holiday shortened week. So it's very important to set your expectations accordingly. When you have that holiday shortened week, a lot of times you'll get less volume on the week. You can get some chop. So just remember to not force anything, only take high quality setups, right? And kind of just continue to remain patient. PAYTIENT. So hope everybody had a great weekend. I had an insanely packed week last week. I have an insanely packed week this week. I kind of go through these spurts, these cycles where I have like easy schedule, and then there would be like 2 to 3 weeks of just like back to back to back to back to back. So I got a lot going on, but we're making it work. We're making it manage here. We had the thank you for everybody who reached out, and whether you commented on the group or personally about Black Wealth and being at the PNC times Howard University, or PNC and Howard University event, future of entrepreneurship through Black Commerce. That was an amazing event, right? It was so dope to connect with so many other Black entrepreneurs, to connect, with people in the venture capital space. And it was an amazing experience, right? They love Black Wealth. So that was awesome, right? Always great to get good reception, but the panel was amazing too. And it was just such a divinely ordained panel. So it was a great experience. I also moved, so that was fun. Literally at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we were dealing with stuff for that conference in DC at the Renaissance Hotel. Then literally went straight home Friday. After packing up, we unloaded everything. Then went home and had to pack up all my boxes and then move on Saturday. And then Sunday was Father's Day, so it's just been bing bang boom. But we're keeping it pushing, right? Throw a two in the chat if you're busy, but you're keeping it pushing. You're staying alive, and you're continuing to manifest your best self every day. That's really all that we can do, and I'm grateful to have breath in order to do that, right? But in terms of today, we had our federal holiday yesterday, Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, right? For all my people of color as well as people outside of people of color. And let's see here. So because of that, though, we're going to have. I love that, Stacia. Good morning. Because of that, we're going to have kind of our deluxe session today here, where we go over the week ahead as well as what we expect just out of Monday's specific news. And yes, so let's go ahead and get things popping here. So the week ahead, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell will be in the spotlight next week with appearances on Capitol Hill in front of the House Financial Services Committee and the Senate Banking Committee. Powell's testimony will supplement the release of the Fed's semi-annual monetary policy report. Investors will also be watching to see if the momentum rallies for highly shorted stocks can extend. Over the last week, the list of stocks with more than 20% short interest of total float that showed big rallies included Nikola, what a throwback, whose ticker is NKLA, Ehong, whose ticker is EH, Carvana, whose ticker is CVNA, Workhorse Group, whose ticker is WKHS, Hyzon Motors, which is HYZN, Cipher Mining, which is CIFR, C3.ai, whose ticker is AI, Virgin Galactic, whose ticker is Space, Zentalis Pharmaceuticals, whose ticker is ZNTL, and then Upstart, whose ticker is UPST. So I guess we had, some rallying going on, some momentum rally going on for these extremely shorted stocks. That's awesome for them. I prefer to trade blue chip household names, right? Liquidity that is insured, volume that is insured, and I don't really have to worry about the wild swings associated with meme stocks. So it's not really my area of concentration, and you shouldn't make it yours either. But if you want to have fun, by all means in life, have fun, right? If you have extra funds you can toss around, then by all means place a meme trade. Just do not make your strategy be maximizing the random moves of meme stocks, right? Or highly shorted stocks. That is just not a sustainable strategy. And we want sustainability, predictability, and replicability, right? If that's a word. What makes something that's replicatable. You want to be able to do this over and over and over again. You don't want to hit it once and then suddenly you're sitting around waiting for the next meme stock, right? Because what do? You force that onto the next opportunity and it likely isn't correct, right? So in terms of earnings, we got FedEx reporting today, and then Lazy Boy. I didn't know Lazy Boy was publicly traded, but their ticker is LZB. We've got KB Home, ticker KBH, Winnebago, and Steelcase reporting on Wednesday. And then nothing really important in terms of Thursday. Let's see what else we got going on. Not really much else for the rest of the week. Let's check out the economic calendar as well. Um, economic. Yeah, so probably next week, I'll be doing the stream from my new place. But as of right now, going through what else? Trouble with Xfinity, them getting a technician out there. They said the soonest they'll be able to have one out there is Thursday. So, we'll see if I can get set up by the end of the week. But I want to be somewhere where I have stable internet connection that I don't have to worry about, right? So, but excited to be in the new spot. Very, very excited about that. Let's see, it's economic calendar. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Yes, and good morning, everybody who popped in, who I missed. Paul, good morning. Detrice, good morning. Again, whether you're watching live or via replay, just make sure you throw that one in the chat because we're here to get 1% better, right? You do that each and every day. Exponential growth, right? It compounds and it's a beautiful thing. Let's check out what we got going on today. At 11:45 a.m., we have New York Fed President John Williams speaking. Don't really see that as registering much unless he says something spicy. Wednesday, June 21st, we've got Powell testifying to a House panel. So tomorrow at 10 a.m., we've got Powell speaking. He'll be testifying to a House panel. Again, it's important to recognize whether or not he's making a prepared remark, or he's being interviewed, or he's testifying in front of a panel. So all those can lead to different outcomes, but that's very important, right? Wednesday, 10 a.m. during market hours, 30 minutes after open, Powell will be speaking. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. So we've got data before market open. Then Friday, we've got S&P Flash Services PMI at 8:30 a.m. before open. So, and then manufacturing PMI as well. So really, Wednesday, Thursday looking like the big days, but we do have data Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's coming out. Powell, obviously, that's going to be important whenever he speaks. You can't predict what will happen, right? You really can't predict. You really just have to make sure that you have your technicals right, have the technicals tight, right, and then ready to execute based off of what the market gives you. Last week we had the Fed, a Fed day. The Fed comes out, they talk about interest rates, and we have Powell testifying. If you guys executed on the normal strategy, right, that we've been doing the past few times, then you likely got paid if you traded that intraday, right? In terms of what that strategy is, it's fade the first move. So when we talk about fading the first move, it's okay, what is the initial reaction that we get from what the Fed does? That reaction likely does not end up being the main reaction, right? So if we sold, which in this case we did, when we got the Fed interest rate decision, what are you looking for? You're looking for a reversal because typically whatever happens initially is not what continues to happen. So if we pop right for the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes after, thank you, Coco, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was moved closer to Bailey's job, so my girlfriend's job. I work from home, so I can do whatever, and I'm very flexible. But that commute, right, was kind of stressing her out. So I was like, hey, this is part of the reason why I do what I do. Let's just move closer to where you are. So yeah, very excited about that. Love the new spot around some pretty cool things also. So, it's nice, it's exciting. Um, in terms of the Fed day though, right? What else? Oh, and I want to do something cool with my office as well this time because I didn't really do anything super cool with the last time. So we'll see, right? We'll see. But I want to do something cool with my new office. Something to make these streams look even doper, right? And I left my light at home too. So sorry for the contrast, all that stuff. But in terms of the Fed day, right? Fading the first move, very important to recognize that. So last week, the first move was down. We sold off, right? Intraday for like that 10, 20 minutes after they announced the interest rate decision. Then what happened? We bottomed, then we pushed back up. So again, that's what you should really be looking to do whenever there's a Fed day is let the first move play out. Oftentimes it's not the ending move. And then, right, do the opposite of whatever that first move is. So in this case, first move was selling, fade the first move, wait for a bottom, right? When you say, how do I know where the bottom is? It'll likely be a level that you've already marked off via your technical analysis on the chart. If you don't know how to do that, then you got to make sure that you're signed up at chartwithconfidence.com because we start this week, tomorrow, right? We literally kick things off tomorrow for that. If you don't know, how to create these levels and how to chart like a master, right? You want to condense 10,000 hours worth of technical analysis experience into a 3-day boot camp. Make sure you're there, right? And what else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah. So in terms of, and also via the candlesticks, right? So when we talk about Adam, how do I know when I should get in? If I'm fading the first move, you want to look for bottoming candlesticks, right? Candlesticks with longer tails that show you that, hey, the buyers are buying things up while the sellers tried to push us down. And look for some type of either reversal pattern or reversal candlesticks, bottoming candlesticks. So literally just walk you through exactly how to play a Fed day. These are the nuggets that you get for the free tuning into the pre-market prep session. Oh, sorry, session. Ooh, excuse me. So let's see. Since we finished our week ahead news, now we're going to dive into our Tuesday specific news. Throw a 7 in the chat if you're still with me. Now, right track. So, President Joe Biden said U.S. China ties are on the right trail, hailing the progress made during Secretary of State Antony Blinken's 2-day Beijing trip at a time when geopolitical tensions are on the rise. He, being Blinken, did a hell of a job. Biden told reporters in California, "We're on the right trail here." So China's stance, Xi echoed Biden's views, saying good progress was made on diplomatic ties. Quote, China respects U.S. interests and does not seek to challenge or displace the U.S. In the same vein, the U.S. needs to respect China and must not hurt China's legitimate rights and interests, said Xi. China hopes that the U.S. will adopt an objective and rational perception of China, work with China in the same direction, and handle unexpected and sporadic events in a calm, professional, and rational manner. Handle unexpected and sporadic events in a calm, professional, and rational manner. Just sounds weird. That's just weird sounding. And that's what the Chinese embassy in Singapore said in a statement. It's like, what are you anticipating? Any sporadic or unexpected events, right? Like maybe an invasion or something like that. They're basically saying, hey, if we do something crazy, chill out. That's what that translates to when I read it. Digging deeper, Blinken's trip included a surprise meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Blinken had earlier met China's top diplomat Wang Yi and Foreign Minister Queen Qin Gong, I think it's pronounced. The two sides had candid, substantive, and constructive discussions on key priorities in the liberal relationship or in the bilateral relationship and on a range of global and regional issues, the U.S. State Department said. The issues discussed included the contentious Taiwan issue and China's actions against U.S. firms, Both sides agreed to meet further to open lines of communication. So, in terms of commentary, investment manager Newberg Berman said U.S. China ties are facing a potentially more challenging political environment, with elections in Taiwan and the U.S. slated for 2024. More constructive engagement by both countries would be helpful, appreciating that competition between these two powerful economies will likely remain fierce. Now, in terms of regulatory heat, moving on to our next story here, Adobe's planned $20 billion purchase of Figma is expected to face an in-depth review by European antitrust regulators, sending its stock 1% lower in pre-market trade today. The deal is already facing regulatory heat in the UK as well as the US, even as Adobe remains confident in the deal's merits. The acquisition was not welcomed by Wall Street, as many believe Adobe overpaid for Figma. Seeking Alpha contributors and analysts said the uncertainty over the deal creates a layer of ambiguity in Adobe's short-term trajectory. I love Figma. I feel like it's a readily used tool. I feel like people thought that Meta overpaid for Instagram when they paid, what was it, $1 billion, and now it's worth like a much more significant sum. So I think I can't remember if they paid 1 billion or 10 billion, whatever they paid, but it was worth it, right? Um, so, I think it's a good move with Adobe between what they're doing with AI and then integrating Figma with that. I love that move. But again, whether or not it will happen, that's really the key. We've got this administration, which is a lot tougher than the Trump administration when it comes to mergers and acquisitions. So these deals going through hasn't been a high percentage of them that have, right? We've got a lot of issues with NVIDIA, their acquisition of ARM that was shut down. Microsoft and Activision, that was shut down. The merger between, what was it, Frontier and Spirit, right? That was shut down. So it's just like every single deal that big companies are looking to get done is kind of getting shut down. So this, does not bode well for Adobe trying to acquire Figma. But we'll keep an eye on that and see how that continues to shake out. Record order, Airbus received what it described as the biggest deal in civil aviation history yesterday, with an order for 500 narrow-body jets from Indian budget carrier Indigo. The European plane maker announced the deal with an estimated value of 50 billion with a B, 50 billion based on list prices and typical discounts at the Paris Air Show. The planes will be delivered from 2030 to 2035. Nice. Airbus, not anything that's publicly traded here. That might have some ramifications for Boeing. But as you guys know, I don't trade Boeing. So, or at least I don't trade it often. Boeing is one of those stocks that just is so misbehaved. We all know that one, just bad kid growing up, or maybe he just behaved badly at least at school, was always getting in trouble. That's Boeing, right? Boeing does not really care too much for respecting technicals sometimes. It can chop for a long time, and it is just generally tough to trade. So some people like it. Everybody's got their kryptonite, right? Boeing is definitely one of mine. Very important in this game to be self-aware. You struggle trading a stock, stop trading it, right? Stop trading it and just keep it pushing. That's the smartest thing to do, because if there's not, you don't get a certificate for conquering a stock that you struggle with, right? There's no glory in the struggle. There are plenty of stocks out there. Trade the other ones. So text 95 moment. It's becoming clear to some that the recent AI wave is more akin to a moment for technology not seen since the mid 1990s, when the internet exploded in popularity and transformed the entire planet. The massive $800 billion AI opportunity is now on the doorstep for the tech sector for the next decade, said Wedbush. It expects tech stocks to continue gaining this year, perhaps to the tune of 10 to 12%, especially as the Federal Reserve slows down its interest rate hikes, and the integration of AI into everything is looking more like the next industrial revolution. So I feel like that probably didn't need to be included, since we all know that AI is a huge, revolutionary technology that's going to change things. But maybe it was a slow day. In terms of today's markets, I don't have fingers from up to see if this has changed, but in Asia, with Japan, we're up 0.1%, Hong Kong down 1.5%, China down 0.5, India up 0.3. The footy in London is flat right now. Paris down 0.2, Frankfurt down 0.5. The Dow, as of when this newsletter went out, was down 0.4, S&P down 0.4, Nasdaq down 0.4. Crude oil up 0.2%. What time is it? 9 a.m. Awesome. Gold down 0.4%, Bitcoin up 1.5% to 26,768. With what else is happening here, we'll finish up with our rapid fire bullet point rundown. China central bank cuts two key lending rates to prop up slowing economy. Fed says two more rate hikes likely this year, but markets are unconvinced. May credit card data shows more delinquencies verging on normal rates. Warren Buffett, and again, something to keep an eye on, right? Credit card delinquency increasing. We're reaching record numbers in terms of consumer credit card debt. And I just saw a different study this morning that said that consumers are not paying that off. So, again, not anything that you want to, distract you from the opportunity available via the charts. If the weakness manifests, we'll see it manifest. But until it does, you got to just continue to trade what the charts give you. Warren Buffett boosts stake in Japanese trading houses to over 8.5%. Intel's INTC 30 billion euro funding is largest foreign investment in Germany. Then Alibaba names Eddie Wu as new CEO in surprise shakeup. Google, ticker GOOG, and GOGL, eyes shifting pixel manufacturing to India from China. So that is just another big tech, right? This is something we've been covering for the last year and a half, which is the movement of, a lot of these big tech companies from China to India. India is the new frontier. It has been for the past 10 years. Everybody has been trying to, get their way into India, weasel their way into India. Jeff Bezos, when he went on tour in India, everyone wants to get into India. Why? It's the new China, right? You have this developing country that, is there's a lot of money to harvest. There are a lot of new potential consumers. There's a lot of new wealth that's being built. We just had that first Apple store, right, that was built in India, I believe it was. So just a lot of opportunity. When these companies are global and some of the most valuable companies in the world, they need every bit of the world as their customer base. So we just see the continuation of that move from China to India, and part of it also probably fueled by those deteriorating geopolitical tensions that Biden said is getting better, but who really knows, right? Archer Aviation, ticker ACHR, and then Stellantis, ticker STLA, deepen EVTOL partnership. I guess it's called eVTOL or eVTOL partnership. Civitas Resources, ticker CIBI, nears $5 billion deal to expand into Permian, so the Permian Basin, I guess, to drill up more oil. U.S. Steel, whose ticker is X, we've done a few trades on X, hasn't been for a while, but we have guides for above consensus Q2 earnings, so good earnings from X. And that will wrap us up and take us out here for this morning's session. In terms of this week and kind of how markets are looking, nothing is really looking particularly appealing when we talk about the major averages, the major indices. Don't force anything if there isn't anything available, right? You got to see how the market moves. Again, short market week, holiday week, so we can get low volume, we can get chop. But again, like you want to come into the week either saying, oh, okay, this indices or this index looks strong, that index looks strong. None of them really look strong. So you don't want to force anything. Take the opportunities, that are available. But at the end of the day, you can't force the market to do literally anything. This is a game of probabilities, right? There is no such thing as a sure thing, and the market owes us absolutely nothing. What we do is use past price action to try and infer a probable outcome for future price action. Nothing is guaranteed, right? So just make sure that, again, as we go into it on this virtual Monday, right, really Tuesday, but this virtual Monday, that you understand, again, the market that you're dealing with. Just because you know how to read charts does not mean that the market owes you anything, right? Just because there's something that's probable to happen does not mean that it will happen or that it will happen in the time frame that you need it to happen. Keep all this in mind and come with that humble attitude as you approach markets today. Make sure that you remain patient, right, and ready to execute when necessary. So I'm going to dive in and do some analysis. You guys know the drill. But as always, if you got anything valuable from this session, just make sure you show love to the account. Was super busy, had no time for content last week, but gonna get back on the content train this week, and I'm excited to do so. And even more excited to kick. Look at that, I'm throwing pens across the room. Even more excited to kick off the challenge tomorrow. Super pumped for that. So, anyways, I'll see all you guys there. Have a great rest of the day. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Peace.